right, as requested, I'm going to teach you how to make a pork butt, pulled pork, whatever you want to call it. Got about a 7.5 pound bone-in pork butt from Sam's Club. Let's get started. First thing you need, not no mudslides. Just need a good old Miller Lite. Got to open up the packaging, and we just want to rinse this thing off. Get it ready for seasoning. Next thing we want to do, pat this thing dry. Flip it over. You want to get it dry because you want to get some seasoning on it. All right. No sense in being sober. Take some mustard. Doesn't matter the flavor. Nobody likes when that watery stuff comes out. So make sure you shake it up. We want to get mustard on it, nice and coated. Again, this is going to be for a binder, not necessarily flavor. A little bit more. That mustard bottle is going to be nice and sticky afterwards. You have to run it underneath the sink. Once we think we've got it coated, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the seasoning process. I like to use butt rub. It is what it is. You just want to put as much as you can possible on this thing. You're going to liberally coat it on all sides. Flip it over. Same thing. Nice and coated. Come in and show this. Get it on all the sides. Use your hand to kind of keep it off the counter so you don't get yelled at later. I'll get yelled at. All sides. Like to dip it in some of that remaining. We're gonna let this thing sit for about 20 minutes. Set up whatever you're gonna decide to smoke your pork butt on to about 225. So for this Traeger, we're gonna go ahead and pull out some pellets, open it up, fill her up because we got a long smoke process. We're gonna set it to about 225. Go ahead and let it get preheated. All right, I like to throw mine up on the top rack, the fattier or the bigger side towards the heat source, and then fat side down, just right in the middle. Plug it in. And here's the deal, right? Depends on how long you want to smoke this thing for. But for me, like, I'm lazy. I like to smoke it overnight. So temp set at 225. Gonna keep it at there, and we're not gonna open this thing again until we see temps around 205. So we want to set the probe goal. We'll go a little bit less than 205. We're probably gonna go 195. Give us a little bit of leeway. Obviously, if you wanted to cook this thing a little bit quicker, you would pull it at 165-ish and wrap it. So go ahead and take a look at that thing now. We're gonna set it and forget it like an easy bake oven. And we are going to check on it again first thing in the morning. The grand reveal, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A little colder last night than I thought it was going to be, so it definitely took a lot longer. We ran the temp up to about 300 a couple hours ago just to kind of get it finished to do this next part. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got. Oh, all that goodness, right? So we're going to go ahead and take the probe out. Obviously, if you had some like gloves, it'd probably be better. This is the tough part because it's going to be so tender. Like, you got to try to get up underneath of it. Like, if you come over here and look, the bone is like already wanting to come out of it. So the tough part is going to be getting underneath of this while it's and keeping it together, because you do not want it to separate yet. So kind of just a trick I use, just spatula, kind of get it up off of there. Try not to leave any of that good meat on there, onto the tray, and we're just gonna wrap it up. Some people like to put butter in there now. You can do that if you want, but for me, just nice and tight. And I'm gonna show you how to let this thing rest here in a minute. Turn this thing off. Next thing I like to do is take a towel, just an old towel, wrap it up around the aluminum foil. And I don't feel like getting a cooler dirty, but a cooler will hold temperature well, but also so will an oven. So I'm just gonna take this football, maybe not. And just set it in here. We're gonna let it rest for a minimum, probably 4 hours, right? The longer it rests, the better. The oven will keep it at that safe food temperature, so we don't have to worry about anything. You obviously don't want to leave it overnight, or you want to put it on to keep warm. But the biggest part, I think, to making a tender pork butt is letting it rest. And this one will probably rest till dinner. It's 2 o'clock now. Probably eat around 6 o'clock, and we'll shred it then. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. The unveiling of the barbecue. Nice, juicy. Roll it over. Now you just start shredding it. Look how easy that comes apart. Look at that bone. Comes right out of there. Get the bark off. See how it's still hot and it's been out there forever? Now it's just the hardest part. Shredding all this up. You could use your hands. We've got these things. Some people say like not wrapping it makes it dry, but you can see that it's obviously not dry. All that fat, and you're just trying to mix it all up. I guess I'll show it to you once I'm done. Add a little bit more butt rub seasoning as you're mixing it.